Did you ever worry about your family in California after the war broke out? What would happen to them?
Yes, because there was talk about having to get out of off the coast, and so I was the oldest. My brother was not of legal age yet, and the thought was that if they moved to a place and bought a farm, then they could stay there, you know, and it would be on the other side of the line of demarcation, as they call it, and which they did, but I wasn't home. So my brother-in-law's brother, who was of age, said, I will sign, you know. He was a citizen and, of course, born here, and he was legal age, so he signed for the farm. So then the family moved there, which was fine, but then not long after they moved there, it was discovered they were going to change the line of demarcation, which they did, so then they had to be evacuated, yes. And meanwhile, I had been, all of us that were in the Pacific Northwest in the military units were all gathered up in Fort Lewis. And there were probably 350 of us there gathered up there wondering what's going to happen to us. And then they evacuated us out of Fort Lewis in March of 1942.
What were you thinking about that kind of treatment?
Well, it was kind of a weird treatment in a sense, because when they said, pack up your stuff, you're going to go, and we got on the trucks, and we didn't know how far we were going to be on the truck. We only went about a mile or two, and to the siding at DuPont, which is there at Fort Lewis. And there was a troop train there. And the truck pulled off on Highway 99 on the shoulder, and we got out of the trucks, and then we got on the troop train. But we got on the troop train alphabetically. The Andos and so forth in the first car, and all the Watanabes and Yaguras and Yamaguchis and so forth in the last car. And still, I didn't see anybody around. It was kind of a mystery to me, because a chaplain came to see us off. But there was nobody, no other officers on board the train with us, only the train crew and us. That was a real weird situation. Of course, then we were all advised that if we pull into a station, every station we pull into, you got to pull the blinds, so they can't see who you are, who's in the car, in the trains. And but a funny incident happened before we took off, and we were all loaded up, and the train started pulling out. And I was in the last car looking out the window, sitting next to the conductor, and in a car driving down Highway 99. I look in there, and Bill Nuno's in the car, looking at the train, you know. And I told the conductor, hey, he's supposed to be on the train here. He's got to be on the train. So the conductor pulled on the emergency cord and stopped the train. It had only gone a couple of 100 yards, you know. And train stops, and Bill gets out of the car, and we jump out of the train, and Bill says, what am I going to do in my car, you know? Brand new car, 41 Ford, you know, and sedan. And so the chaplain comes rushing up the railroad tracks, wondering what's going on, you know, what happened, why did the train stop, and why is Bill out there? So I told the chaplain, I says, he's supposed to be on the train, but he doesn't know what to do with his car. And the chaplain says, well, Bill, do you know where they're sending you? And he says, well, I'm supposed to go to Leavenworth, Fort Leavenworth in Kansas. And chaplain said, if you trust me, give me your keys. Because I've just been transferred to Leavenworth. And my wife and I are going to drive to Leavenworth, but she can drive my car, and I will drive your car. And when I get to Leavenworth, I'll look you up. That's how that happened there. And then we went east. We went through Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming, and they dropped off a carload here and a carload there, and we were in the last car, and we were dropped off in Fort Hays, Columbus, Ohio. And then after that, the evacuation started at Bainbridge and all other parts, you know.